So, you know how when you're about to upload a video, you have to pretty much put down whether your video is for kids or not? This is kind of about that, but not really. I'm going to get to why I mentioned that. This all kind of started over a little comment that I got on one of my toy hunt videos, and I'm going to be a little honest, if it does it did kind of bug me a little bit as to sort of the context with it. I'm going to, of course, explain what the comment is, but before I move on, I just want to say, don't go after the person. Obviously, I mean, to an extent, I definitely understand the frustration over the person, but at the same time, I feel like I need to address a couple of things. Uh, for starters, I mean, it's nothing like deep. It's not like super serious or anything like that. It's not like it's gonna end the channel or anything like that. But obviously, this is something that I need to kind of speak on. Just to kind of get a bit of a clearer mind, because obviously I have to kind of rant about this a little bit, just a little, right? And yes, I am also very aware my G.I. Joe collection once again is a hot mess. I keep bumping into it, and I don't know how I'm going to be able to stop that. Anyway, let me talk a little bit what happened, right? So it's this particular comment that I'm talking about here, pretty much. Yeah, so I apologize if like the recording sounds a bit off. So let me just kind of read the comment real quick just to kind of add in some context. So this is of course from the video. I bought so many Ninja Turtles at Target. It's not funny. I'm broke as fuck now. So this is what the person had to say. Hey, not sure what age group you're making these videos for, but I'm watching your video with my 5-year-old grandson, and sure, some of the language used is not appropriate for younger ears. I don't know what that means. In your tagline, the reference to broke as fuck, not cool for little ones. You could kind of get an idea where this video is going. Yeah, so trust me, there's a reason why I'm addressing this. So I'm gonna let's just kind of move on to the next segment. So obviously, yeah, this whole thing sort of started off because obviously somebody, this person got upset because of the some of the language I used in the video, pretty much, So this was in one of my kind of sort of Ninja Turtle toy hunts. I think it was the one pretty much where I found like a whole bunch of those new mix and match figures, obviously, and of course, I mean, come on now, I mean, I love Ninja Turtles. I've been a big fan of it for a long time, so of course I'm gonna express my feelings about it, even if it's not proper. But obviously, But then the person also pointed out a couple of things. I mean, for starters, obviously they ask like, what is the age group of the videos, and it's like, oh, okay, so I guess we're going that route. And the person mentions that he was watching the video with his 5-year-old grandson, and pretty much mentions how the language I used was not appropriate for young ears and stuff like that. And then the thing is, though, they also brought up that I put in the tagline or the reference, broke as fuck, which obviously the person wasn't really happy about that and said that that's not cool for the little ones. And I don't know, I'm very conflicted. I'm like I said, I was a little frustrated by it because it's like, my videos, I guess I might as well just kind of get it out of the way. Obviously, my videos is not really intended towards a specific audience. It's really not, I mean, like, okay, fine, yeah. I'm a grown man, pretty much. I mean, I'm 23 years old, but like, yeah, I do my little toy hunts. I talk about them, I go over them, I review them, even though it takes me forever to put out a toy review. But you get the point. YouTube isn't primarily a platform where it's like it's supposed to be like intended for a specific audience. That's what YouTube Kids is for. I remember that this has been such an ongoing thing for such a long time, especially for toy collectors too. They've been getting hit pretty heavily with this the most, honestly. I mean, the thing is, I can't really talk about too much about how it really started, only because I don't want to like deviate what we're talking about here. But obviously, for a very, very long time, I mean, it used to be very easy to pump out a video just simply talking about action figures, and you talk about the stories and all that. But ever since the whole sort of kappa situation, there's a little bit more to that. That wasn't the only thing that pretty much pushed it, but pretty much that's where the whole, you have to put in if your videos are made for kids or not. And then there's of course the other side of the argument is of course the whole vulgar language thing. But what I don't understand though, and this is not towards the person, this is towards more of like YouTube and how their stupid system works pretty much. It's like they put in this thing where like you can't curse for like the first what 10 or 30 seconds in the video, and then they eventually changed it to like a minute or so. So it's like okay, you know, I don't want to be that kind of person and pull out that kind of card, but it's like it's my channel. I should at least be able to say what I want. You know, it's different if I'm saying something like super controversial. But obviously that's not what I'm doing. I'm just trying to have some fun here. So it's like, come on now. That's like the last thing you want to worry about. And I know you're probably thinking, Josh, that's mostly towards videos that are like monetary, but it's like, not really though. Trust me, YouTube is very, very picky when it comes to that. And I don't know if it's their bot system or if it's like a person that goes over that type of stuff, but no, trust me, they will find ways to take down your videos, and they will tell you, you know, whether it's inappropriate or so. They will do that, you know. And they probably won't take down your video. They won't just downright delete it, but they'll probably give you like some kind of warning. I can't really say for sure what kind of warning, because it just kind of feels like it literally, it's almost like it just changes each time for YouTube, you know. I mean, it's like, I don't know, you either get like some kind of community guideline strike, you get some kind of strike. Honestly, I have no idea. I don't think it would go that far to getting like a super serious strike, which is the one that if you get 3 strikes, your channel's deleted. I'm not saying that's gonna happen. That's obviously pretty ridiculous. But the point I'm trying to make here is that, you know, not to sound mean, but you know, I kind of have to stand my ground when I say this. But it's like, you know, it's my videos, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, let me just make them how I want, you know. I mean, I understand that the person's upset because his 5-year-old grandson was watching this, but it's like, I don't know, you know. I understand that kids love toys too, don't get me wrong. I mean, Ninja Turtles is very universal, you know. Mind you, when they were first created, they first started off as like a dark and greedy comic that was definitely not meant for children. That wasn't until later on that they decided to kind of stick with the idea of making TV shows just to kind of sort of make toys. I say kind of because a lot of people always got the idea that it was sort of Playmate's idea, when in reality it was actually Kevin and Peter's idea. Shocking, I know, but that's not what we're talking about here. What I'm saying is that action figures are no longer just made for kids. You know, they definitely have a lot of stuff that is adult oriented. I mean, G.I. Joe is a perfect example because understandably, yeah, they made kids toys in the 80s or so, but if you look at the new figures now, do you really expect to give your kid an action figure like this and then not expect them to lose the parts or whatever? You know what I mean? Very, very tiny small parts you can literally lose. You can literally take out the ammo clip, for crying out loud. I mean, that, what does that tell you? Not to mention that they're pretty expensive nowadays, you know. I mean, think about it. And I would say, to a certain extent, if you're, even if you're like, you know, not 5 years old obviously, but you know, if you have a little bit of some common sense, you know, you would kind of get the idea, you know, like, you know, you can handle it. Come on, we're all adults here, right? Wink wink. But no, the point I'm trying to make here is that I understand like where he's coming from here, and a part of me that hesitated you know, talking about this is obviously he said that, you know, his grandson, so it's like, okay, so maybe the guy's, you know, kind of old. I'm not trying to like discriminate or anything like that, all right, so don't go crazy when I say that. You know, he's probably old, you know, so it's okay. But the thing is though, the person did notice that the title of the video, obviously I put, you know, something something broke as fuck, you know, that's the title of the video. So it's like, this is the part where I get really, really confused. It's like, okay, you clearly know that just by the title of the video alone I might curse or something like that, so or that there's some sort of swearing. So it's like, I'm not exactly sure what you were expecting at that point, unless the person noticed that after that. But then in that case, wouldn't it just be better not just to say anything, so that I didn't have to think about it for such a long time? Because generally a small part of me did feel bad, but I also felt very frustrated, because I'm just gonna say it because I don't want this video to go on super long here. Look, I am not a babysitter, all right? I can't just police my channel like that and then cover myself and all that just because, you know, a kid's watching this or whatever, you know. Listen, I get that a majority of my content, I do talk about action figures and stuff like that, but, you know, my content is either for, you know, a much more open-minded audience, or at least an adult audience for the most part, because obviously, you know, adult collectibles and all that, I mean, again, you know, it's very big, you know. It's like, it's not just for children no more. So it's like, I don't know, I kind of wish that people at least perceive with that idea, because I get the feeling that maybe that's what's going on mostly, you know. I get the feeling that maybe not everyone can really grasp that idea, you know. So you know, I get it, all right, but at the same time, I just wanted to make this very clear, and that's about it, really. So I don't want to go on about this for too long. I thought I'd just kind of rant on a little bit about this because it does bother me to an extent. But I can only imagine, like, how do other YouTubers deal with this? Have you guys ever dealt with something kind of similar, where you made content and maybe somebody just wasn't very happy about it? Because I can only imagine, really. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, that's the thing too, because my channel, not to brag a bit, it has been growing a lot, So honestly, now I'm getting my toy hunts like in the thousands now. So you're expecting to get that kind of surge within your audience, and you're gonna get everybody. But at the same time, I don't want another situation like this because this is very annoying. All right. So you know that we don't just talk about toys on here either. We try to talk about other stuff. I try to talk about a range of stuff that I like, and of course try to cover some topics here and there. That's about it, really. So until then, hopefully the next video won't be such a downer. Hopefully it'll be either another toy hunt, maybe I know I gotta get started with the toy reviews, at some point. So I did bought a couple of new things for my setup and all that. So hopefully we can at least try to get that right back up and running. Not exactly sure what the next review is going to be. It's either going to be an Ultraman action figure or maybe a Masters of the Universe Origins figure, because I did post a voting poll as to what you guys like to see, and that was like, I think like the second or third highest voted, something like that, because I think one of the first ones was to go over my Marvel Legends collection. Not too sure, but till then, that's about it for now. Hopefully we could kind of put this past us right now, and obviously it does also open a lot of questions as to, like, how should we proceed stuff like this in the future, or how YouTube should have really taken that nice little suggestion Kappa gave them, where creators can have the option to put their videos not for kids or with kids, whatever like that. There was a third option that was offered, but I guess YouTube declined it. So we're unfortunately stuck with that weird common denominator of, is your videos made for kids? Yes or no. But even then, that's not going to stop everything else. Criticism is key, but I guess the only question I have here is, was this criticism, understandable? Was it warranted? Or was this obviously somebody that, should kind of take a chill pill a little bit and just move on? Because, a couple of curse words here and there, it's not going to corrupt you. But don't get me wrong, I'm very against that too. I don't like cursing in front of children and all that, all right? So that's why I kind of feel bad in a sense, because I think that's wrong. You shouldn't really do that, because then when you grow up, you start to kind of mimic that. You don't realize it till you get older, obviously. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm old enough to like understand certain things here and there. The only thing I'm dealing with honestly right now is just ginormous brain fog, because when you're in your 20s, that it tends to happen. So just chill out for the most part. Hopefully we'll get right on to the next video, and that's about it. See you guys next time.